The holidays can be the most wonderful time of the year, but for some, it is a struggle just to get through a day or the season. This morning, Dr. Stacy Chronister, an internal medicine specialist with OSU Medicine, has important information for those who are really dreading the holidays. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, I think people say, well, I'm sad or this is making me feel down, but there's a distinct difference, right, between depression and sadness?
Absolutely, and I think it's normal to have kind of those winter blues, but there's a difference between winter blues and just kind of feeling sad and that true depression. And I think the good way to put it is that just much more pervasive. So someone who is feeling down, but it's also affecting their daily life. So their sleep is off. They might be sleeping too much or too little. They don't want to interact and do things that they typically would have a lot of joy from. That's something I'd be concerned about. Is this a lot more than just I'm feeling down, and is this actually depression?
So let's talk a little bit about how people, I guess some of the things that cause depression this time of year, and we'll start with loneliness, because I think
absolutely.
a lot of people realize, you know, it is a time for family and gatherings, and last year I can only imagine how hard that must have been.
It was so hard, and then I think everyone's just so ready for things to get back to normal, but you might not even have the same family members in your family that you had last year. And so I think loneliness is one of the really big ones that can be a trigger for this. But financial strain is a big source of discomfort at this time of year. Social anxiety, just additional stressors, having unrealistic expectations of what holidays are supposed to be. And honestly, a lot of people and families have some trauma there. There may have been someone who was unkind to you physically or emotionally in the past, and the idea of having to interact with those people can be very stressful.
It's a very hard time to, you know, sort that all out. And a lot of people do have pretty high expectations, and I'm one of those people. I'm always, our church talks about it all the time, lower your expectation, raise your commitment, be more involved, but don't expect so much. And I think as we head into this time of year, let's talk about some of those things that people can actually put into practice as we look at, you know.
Yes, absolutely. So I think when we're talking about the holidays, we have that like Lifetime movie idea, and
right,
the, like Facebook, Instagram look, social media of everyone having these elevated holidays. But don't be afraid to change up tradition. Just because you have had this type of tradition every year, if you do not feel up to it, don't feel obligated to stick with something that you used to do when you were feeling well. Now, I know the flip side of that is completely opposite advice, and that's for that person to say, you know what, maybe you'll feel better once you get there. Yes, you don't want to, you're kind of dreading it, but maybe being around your family and friends will actually give you some reprieve from your depressive symptoms and have you enjoy some of that time. I would make sure that you don't set any expectations for others that they can't live up to. Remember that it's not about if so-and-so got you that present that you really wanted. It's not about what so-and-so will or won't say. No one's behavior can impact your depression.
And so set that boundary?
Yeah, so don't hold them to a standard that you yourself wouldn't want to have. There's
also some physical parts of it. You know, I think because we're racing and running, we don't eat right, we don't exercise, we don't sleep well. So all of those can really be physical triggers as well. No one feels good if you're not sleeping. So I know we're all on tight crunches. We have to get this done. We have to go to this store. We have to whatever it is that we're doing, right? But you will not feel your best unless you are sleeping. So make sure you are cutting out time, and honestly, even just downtime. Maybe even put it on your agenda. Tonight, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch a Lifetime movie, and I'm with a box of tissues. Right. That's rest in and of itself. But even when we're talking about nutrition, during the holidays, it's full of sweets and snacks, and we know that you get that sugar high and then that sugar low crash. Right. So it's okay to enjoy your treats, but please keep it in moderation. That's going to help keep your mood a lot more stable. Now, if people are seeing signs, symptoms, noticing in others or themselves, we just can't stress enough, find help, seek help. But people say, I can't afford it. Oh, okay, so that really should not be an issue. One, if you have insurance, your insurance wants you to seek help, and they will not require you to have a referral. Even if you think you have one of the insurances that makes you have a referral, they typically do not make you need that for you seeking help. And there's a lot of resources available. I highly recommend calling the Tulsa 211. Right. And they have specifically trained people to talk to you about what's going on and connect you with the correct person based on if there's substance abuse, if it's just sadness around the holidays, recent death in the family. They can help you with that. Awesome. So 211, yes. 3 simple numbers that could save your life. Great to see you. Happy holidays. I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. Thank you. Good to see you.